My belief is there's always something we can do, but I totally respect if someone doesn't believe that. And, sometimes our narrative and our safety can be really uncomfortable and not a happy place, but, we're stuck there. And that's where sort of more counselling and therapeutic talking can be really useful. I fall into probably like the next chapter, which is more change work and kind of doing hard work to change and keeping somebody accountable with that. I always believe I've had some older clients in their 70s, and they've given me the evidence that it's completely possible to change at any age. And when you look at things on neuroplasticity and how your brain changes and how you learn, like, it is maybe harder, but it's totally possible. And so anyone listening, it's like, just start with a tiny thought change or a habit change, and you'll think, oh, this won't do anything. But then a year later, if you've committed with it, something does change. And it's that intrinsic commitment to yourself of, why don't I give it a go? Because it's not great here, so why don't I give it a go? Or I've always had that idea, why don't I just start with like step one, and it's miles away from the big goal, but why don't I just start? And I'm not the first person, won't be the last person to share things like this. It's not rocket science, but it's like, hopefully somebody listening, something just lands and you're like, oh yeah, like, let me commit to that. But it's like, commit to it for weeks, days and weeks. And if you fail, inverted commas, for a few days because you're ill or your family's ill or like life takes over, give yourself some grace and just commit and begin again. It's like, it's not that you can't do it, it's just it doesn't work right then. And also, if you don't see a change in 2 or 3 weeks, you normally have to do something for 3 or 4 months before you're actually really feeling and seeing the difference. So back yourself and give it a go, and get support around you. It doesn't need to be paid support. There's lots of different networks and things that you can get support from. But I'd also say, make sure you choose the support. It's not too wide, because then you can get distracted. So it's like key support and clarity. But yeah, anyone listening, go for it.
What is it have you found it is about people once they reach that kind of age, they're going through that life change, that they suddenly have this kind of block to their future or to their health, their fitness, or then you've got the other spectrum of the people who it's almost like they're having a midlife crisis and they're sort of in the gym having to get as lean as they can and go for those, you yourself have done these extraordinary challenges.
Say mid-30s to mid-50s, everybody's life is quite different. Somebody might have been married 2 or 3 times and have different children and stepchildren, and I have clients with that setup, and then I have clients who would have liked to have children and are on their own, and then clients who wouldn't and who have a more sort of diverse family unit. And so I think it's, first of all, like meeting yourself where you are and looking at like what you expected from your life and making your peace with where you actually are, and then getting really clear on like your purpose and your why for the next chapters. And like sitting down and giving yourself some time, whether it's writing, walking, talking it out loud, but kind of reframing where we want to go in this like fast-paced society, and there's so many options. I believe needs us to like come within and like have a bit of self-reflection. And so often we don't do that now, and it's so easy to get like quick dopamine hits with social media or scrolling or whatever is the thing that distracts you. So if you're feeling lost, it's like coming back to yourself and going, what was the story that I thought would be unfolding, and making your peace with that, and then going, okay, so what's possible now? Like what would I like? And I think post-COVID, for some people, I work on a really short time frame, like maybe just 2 or 3 weeks to start with, because people kind of are like, oh, I don't know what I want in 3 years. I'm like, that's fine. Like, it's really fine. Like, let's do 2 or 3 weeks. And then for others, 2 or 3 weeks is like not enough, and we might do 2 or 3 years. But it's having that flexibility again of going, where's your life situation right now? Like, are you caring for older parents or people? Are you caring for young children? Like, looking at the whole setup and then going, how long do you want to have a little plan for? Do we create a vision board? Do we do some guided hypnotherapy? Do we look at like values, beliefs, priorities? All the things in like a conventional work-life balance wheel. And it's about that reconnection with self and identity. So that's the inner work. And then the outer work is, what do you want? What's the purpose? What's the why? And it's quite a deep piece of work, but it's, when people are ready for it, it's empowering. And if they're not ready or they haven't got the space, there's like little things you can do, as a transition. So say they've got young children or they're caring for someone who's unwell. That's the two common things that would come in. Then we just look at little small things that you can go, that would give you a sense of value or identity. And then, when would you like to look at something bigger? So yeah, that's how I would sort of help people within that middle stage. But it's interesting. Sometimes it happens at, like early 20s when they're leaving uni, or later when, say, a partner or, their friends are passing away but they're still active. And, so it's really interesting. It does happen quite often. And so the more you can learn how to realign yourself and your story, the easier it can be. But it doesn't mean it's still not challenging, but it's like an opportunity.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, why this is so important for us throughout your life, really, to really pay attention to, what's happened in your past and how that is now affecting you moving forward. Because sometimes I think we can go through life, there's so much noise, isn't there, going around. To do with your health, your fitness, your finances, your relationships, whatever it may be. This is all going to be impacting you, and depending on how your story from your childhood moving forward, that sort of story that you've had, and this has come up for me in many interviews as well, your personal story and how that shapes your beliefs and values and how you respond or react to various different situations that come up all your life, and whether you can move through them relatively easily or it can create some sort of block. And I've certainly been in that case where there's been a block. But now coming back to what we were saying a little bit about mind and body connection and, how important that is, because no matter what age you are, you don't want to be stuck in it. You always want to be able to make that progress. It's like being healthy and fit. You have to make progress. As an athlete, you have to progress and improve and get better.